for being our guest on our 2022 Kidprenuer conversation on Promising Me Unleashed. Before we get started, I always want to know a little bit more about London Bowens.
My name is London Bowens. I'm in 5th grade. I'm going to 6th. And my birthday is June 7th, and I'm 11 years old.
So we're right in time. This is your birthday month. And what a great month it is. I just learned last month by a sweet dear aunt who shared your wonderful book, 0 and 1. I see. We're going to talk about a few things because I think I want one of those lovely t-shirts. But I just want you to share with our audience and listen, you can't give it all away because there's a cliffhanger. I'm loving it. Listen, we have to talk about a whole bunch of things. So you're giving a whole lot to me at one time. Hold up. They are so precious. I think I want one of those too. We got to talk about it. So 0 and 1. Tell me, what was your reason or motivation behind writing a book called 0 and 1?
Well, basically, it was nighttime, and as you guys know, well, you guys don't know this about me, but I like to stay up for a long time.
That's my girl.
Yeah, I just stay up for a long time. So I was bored and I didn't know what to do. Then I thought about all the times, and I thought about all the bullying in the world and how people get bullied for how small they are, or the color of their skin, or if they're a girl or a boy, or if they're skinny or not skinny. I thought about that, and then after that, I thought about a 0, and I was thinking about numbers, and I thought about how people think 0 is like not, how people think 0 is useless, and think zeros are like they don't do anything, when zeros are very, very powerful. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have any number without 0, really.
So tell us just a little bit about how 0 and 1 came to be.
How can I say this without giving it away? Basically, let's say if you saw someone was sad and you wanted to cheer them up. So if you saw your friend or someone you don't even know being sad, sitting down, or being left out or something, you would probably go to them and say, "Oh, what's up? Why are you sad?" So yeah, that became the whole start.
That became the start of a story that has little cliffhangers throughout the story. Uh-huh. How long did it take you to write the book?
Well, so basically, it took like a long time because I was making the book. Mm-hmm. I just I planned out the book. I planned out like the first bit of the book, but then the rest I just did freestyle.
Okay. Did you also do the illustrations? Did you kind of have in your mind what you wanted it to look like? Because when I look at the book, it looks like it's comic book style. Is that something that you enjoy?
Mm-hmm. I like comic books.
Okay. I think one of the things that really had me captivated about the book is that my eyes had to move around. I had to keep moving as I read. And as I read one thing, it connected me to something else. And I just love the action. How do you get an action book out of a book that talks about the topic of bullying? How do you make that into an action book?
It's a gift.
I love it.
I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah.
It's a gift.
I don't know how I did it, but I guess I just did.
It's a gift. I love that. Because many times people don't think that things are like writing is a gift. You know, they don't think that putting something together is actually your gift. And the way you put together this topic in a comic style book is actually genius. It is genius. Who did you share your book with first when you first started writing this book?
My little sister.
Your little sister. Wow. Now, can she read also? Or did you read it to her?
I think I read it to her.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And what was her reaction?
I guess she thought it was pretty cute and stuff. Because this is how the book looked at first. It
Oh,
changed
wow.
this to this.
Excellent. 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 That's the sign of a true author, a true writer. You have a vision about what you want the book to end up looking like. And you carry that vision from your mind to your ink pen, to your pencils and your coloring, and you end up with a wonderful finished product. Who do you think is going to benefit from your book? How many people, or where do you think your book can be found in terms of really sharing the subject of bullying? Where do you think it can have the most impact?
Well, it can have the most impact to bullies if they can learn that not to bully people because it's bad. It's a bad thing to do. I know that there's many things in the world that tell bullies not to bully. It can also be like put an impact onto people that are being bullied for them to stand up to themselves and see that know their true value and stuff.
That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I will tell you, when I read your book, I wasn't thinking about it from a children's book perspective. I was actually thinking about it from an adult perspective. You would be surprised how many adults deal with bullying, even though they're older, unfortunately. But there's a book out there now that will really give people a very simplistic way of really seeing what bullying is and how it impacts people, but also the power of when you stand up, like you said, against someone who is being a bully. How important is that? I can't talk too much about this book because there's one cliffhanger in the book that I think is going to surprise everyone who reads it. Everyone who reads it. So, London, just tell me, what other types of stories do you enjoy writing and what you might foresee being your next book?
Well, my next book might be a book about me and my sister that I wrote online time for like a school assignment. It was an art assignment during COVID that I wrote. And another book that I was going to think about writing is Nine's backstory of why he became a bully.
Wow, that is going to be an awesome number 2 in, I believe, a volume of behavior books. That's what I'm going to call them. You've inspired me. London, share with us how we can get or obtain copies of your book.
You can find my books on Amazon. You can type in leave it. You can find my books on Amazon. You can type in 0 and 1, and most likely it should pop up. If it doesn't pop up, I don't know why. It should. Or you can go to Instagram and follow me. Yes, follow me at Leave It to London, number 2. And you'll probably find it somewhere on my Instagram page. Excellent. Or you can go to my website, which is amazingadventurebooks.com, and you'll find it there.
Excellent, excellent. London, when I first saw you come on, I saw that beautiful t-shirt and I said, I've got to have one. Where can I get a t-shirt, 0 and 1 t-shirt?
Well, you can go on my Instagram, follow me, Leave It to London. And if you go to my bio, you'll see there will be a link. It will say, it'll be a link and you can click it. And if you click it, it will lead to where you can buy my shirts.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I also saw two lovely characters thrown into the screen. Can I see them again?
Yes, you can.
Okay. 0 and 1. If you haven't met these two characters, let them make their introduction on Promising Me Unleashed. They are absolutely adorable.
Yes, they are best friends.
I love it. I love it. What better way to show the power of friendship than being able to share a book like 0 and 1. London, I just want to tell you thank you so much for being a part of our Kidprenuer segment on Promising Me Unleashed. We will be looking out for volume or part 2 of 0 and 1, because I definitely want to know the backstory of 9, the bully. So thank you so much, London, for being our guest on Promising Me Unleashed. Will you come on again?
Yes,
We
I will.
love to have you. So I look forward to you coming again and being our guest on Promising Me Unleashed. Hi, I am Jacqueline Jones, your host of Promising Me Unleashed, and we have with us Miss Adrienne Wright.
Hi.
Adrienne, last year you were my co-host.
Yes.
This year you are our guest
Mm-hmm.
for our 2022 Kidprenuer conversation, and you are a up and coming, already successful artist.
Thank you.
So before we get into your art, which is absolutely beautiful, yes, I want you to just kind of share with everyone who you are, age, grade, all that good stuff.
Well, my name is Adrian Wright. I go to CMIT High School, 9th grade.
Okay.
About to go to 10th.
Exactly.
I don't do much.
Yes, you do. You do an awful lot, because we are actually sitting on site in a room full of Adrienne's artwork. And we're going to talk about some of the pieces that are here, because I have some all-time favorites. And Adrienne's going to share with us a little bit more about her love for the arts, actual artwork. So Adrienne, first, just tell everyone how you got started in art. Like, how young were you and how you got started? What was it about art?
I started during quarantine,
Wow.
2020. And my first painting is right over there. That's why it has a frame on it. I'll
Mhm.
show it later.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one with the tree and the sunset. But after I did that one, it was like, I thought it was really cool that I just took a blank canvas and turned it into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried something else and it worked. So I just kept on doing it.
Yes, and I do have a few pieces that you gave me during that time period. You don't remember them, but I do, because I still have them. So your love for art, did it start during the pandemic, or did you start putting your hands to it during the pandemic?
I started putting my hands to it during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just had a creative spirit, or was there something that inspired you to want to do
I think
artwork?
I was bored.
Bored.
I was quarantined with nothing to do.
But isn't it something how boredom can push you to create?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's exactly what you've done all this time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what you've done. The other thing, as we sit and we look at your artwork, I'm interested in knowing more, because, I've drawn a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
I just put color to paper and just went for it. What types of artwork do you like to do the most?
Most, I like to do landscapes.
Okay.
And that's what I'm best at.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, I've been trying to expand into other stuff.
Okay.
Like people and more detailed type things.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like abstracts?
They look nice, but I don't know how to do them that well. but I've done a few abstract art-ish
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. In terms of types of art, I know there's oil paintings there, and I don't know them,
There's
so
oil
we need you to
painting.
explain.
There's watercolor, there's acrylic.
Mhm.
Those are like the main three, but there's like, yeah, those are the main three.
Okay.
And I rarely use oil paint because
Okay.
like you need to use like do it a certain way.
Mhm.
And the first time I did that, I didn't do it right. It took like a week to dry. I didn't know what I was doing,
Mhm.
but it was nice.
Mhm.
I mostly do acrylic paint. That's like all of these around.
Okay.
And watercolor is that one over there,
Okay.
which we'll probably show later.
Okay.
And I've been trying to do like a mix of stuff like watercolor and acrylic recently,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's pretty much
Should they be put on the same canvas?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. I love it. So there's one picture in this room that I would love to show everyone, because it really, how do you capture your father on camera? I mean, on canvas. How do you do that? And what was your inspiration? What made you do this one particular piece?
Well, it was Father's Day. I needed a present, and he had a picture of this place that looked nice, and I think it was a golf course. I'm not sure, but the picture, I had a picture and took a reference, and I just like copied it on there, and that right there says blessings, healthy, wealthy, righteous, and wise. That's one of like his quotes.
Nice. So he got a theme piece of artwork. You said you're starting to do people.
Yes.
Okay. Are these what's your inspiration behind doing that?
Not really inspiration. I just don't know how to do it, so I'm trying to learn how to.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's that creativity that's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about murals? Have you thought about doing any types of murals?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I haven't done anything about it yet.
Okay. So that's another reach for you.
Yeah.
You are currently going to be an illustrator in an up and coming book.
Right.
Yeah. What was your inspiration behind doing that? Were you inspired or were you forced?
I was asked to do it.
Okay, you were asked. Yes. You understand that artwork can be found in many different forms. I like the fact, as I look around the room, I see the versatility in your artwork. And I think that's great for an artist because you never know what's coming. You never know what's coming from Adrienne next. So as I see different pieces come in, I'm like, oh, that's an abstract, or oh, I like. There are a couple that you did, and I'm sure they're oil paintings, and you can confirm for me exactly if it's an oil painting. I really, really love the complexity of this beautiful piece.
Thank you.
So tell me what your inspiration was behind that one. And is that an oil or is that watercolor?
This is acrylic. But it has like, I forgot what it's called, but like acrylic has a bunch of types, and there's like a watery kind, and it's like easy to pour, and you can like mix it, and it turns out something like this.
Okay, so is this an act of the artist, or is this an act of how the paint moves about?
Both. Yeah.
So it requires some skill in terms of where this goes.
A little bit, yeah. Because you don't do anything. Their colors just might mix together. So.
Okay. As far as let's say somebody requests a particular piece of art. Yeah. Okay, so explain to me how that worked.
So they would just ask me for something.
Like
say a lighthouse.
Okay.
And then I'd be like, sure. And I'd ask for details, what they want, in the background or like the colors and stuff. And then I have a system for like how much it would cost,
Okay.
like the amount of paint and like how big the canvas is, how much time it takes.
Okay, so you're already thinking about the marketing piece and the value of your art, and that's good. The thing I love about art is that there's such a freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, when you're drawing, do you find it a place of comfort and relaxation?
No.
No?
I don't like drawing as much as painting. Painting is fun.
Okay, drawing. Okay, I did say drawing. Okay.
Yeah.
Drawing is a different animal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the book that you're working on requires you to draw.
Mm-hmm. It's taking a while.
It's kind of like that one task that you really don't want to do, so you
Yeah.
save it for last.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's
Mhm.
okay. I think the beauty about art is that you have to find what your niche is.
Right.
You know, and so out of all the artwork that you do, what inspires you the most?
The ending piece. There's like the inspiration and the fact that I can keep it most of the time. Most of the time, I keep it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I guess the process is fun too. So that's in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I know nothing about paintbrushes. I take that back. I know about angle brushes.
Okay.
But can you give us like a little bit of a tutorial on what's a good brush to use for what type of art or what type of paint? Is there art to that?
Well, you don't use like every single brush or every single thing. So I could, you may show you the brushes?
Sure, I would love that. So you have your collection of brushes.
Yes.
Okay, so pull a few out and tell me what you would use them for. Okay.
This one right here.
Okay.
It's like the bristles are spread out.
Mm-hmm.
You would use this one for trees, and like you can see back there.
Mm-hmm.
I use this one. It's like for more realistic looking trees.
Okay.
And you like pat it. It's kind of nice look.
Okay.
This one is like a normal brush, but it's bigger.
Okay.
For like bigger canvases, background solid color-ish.
Mm-hmm.
These, there's not really a brush, but you would use it for.
It looks like a spatula, almost.
Yeah, kind of. But it's you use it to like spread out evenly the paint that's not. It's thicker than like when you're using a brush.
Okay.
And this one, it's a lot like this one.
Okay.
But for a smaller canvas.
Okay.
Now, this one right here.
Okay.
It has like, I can't really tell, but it's slanted a little bit.
Okay.
So we use it for like fine lines or something.
Okay.
And you got these two, they're like really tiny. So we'd use them for like precision and detail. Okay. And there's like, those are like the main things. And like, there's a whole bunch of others that are like around that. Right.
I think your brushes are a serious business. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you go back to finger painting, which used to be fun too. I think we mastered that. Right. We mastered finger painting. Yeah. So, Adrienne, where do you foresee your artwork expanding, or where do you foresee it going, possibly?
Long term or short term?
Let's go short term first.
Well, short term, like in my head right now, I got like 5 other paintings that I haven't started yet, but I want to start, and I got like a way I'm gonna do it in my head. But for long term, I want to like expand the type of paintings I do, like not just acrylic, but more watercolor and oil paint, and like not just painting, but like I saw some shoes. And I saw somebody like hydro dip them. I want to try that.
Hydro dipping?
Yeah.
All right, that's new. How can people learn more about your artwork?
Well, right now there's a Facebook page in the making where you can learn more about my art. But I also take referrals, and I have an email address that you can email me about. It's adriennew357@gmail.com.
Excellent. That's good. And we're going to make sure that we post that information, because we want to keep on top of your artwork and what you're doing. I only see it expanding. I really can't wait for the book to come out so that we can also see more of your hand drawing drawings. I know you said you don't love to do that, but sometimes that's where you're perfected.
Yeah.
In those details. So I really am looking forward to doing that. Thank you, Adrienne, for coming on and being a part of Promising Me Unleashed. As I said, you were a host last year. You're a guest this year. And I think we'll probably need a co-host for next year. You think you'll be around to do that for us?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you so much. And thank you for being our guest on Promising Me Unleashed.
Thank you for having me.
I'm here today with Mavis Turner, the founder and innovator of MTC Art Studios in Bowie, Maryland. We're on site. So we are at your location. Mavis, thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. Really excited to talk with Mavis today because not only is she an artist in her own right, but she is changing the lives of children and adults who have a passion for the arts. And so, Mavis, if you don't mind just telling our viewers just a little bit more about MTC Art Studios.
Definitely. Well, as I said, thank you so much for, coming in and seeing us. When you heard about what we do, we really do want to be more visible in the community. So we just kind of do our thing, and we invite anyone who is an artist to contact us and to come into our program. We started almost 20 years ago. So we're like in our 19th year, going on our 20th year. And we started with 2 children at my kitchen table. Wow. Actually, my dining room table. And it started because I had just come out of college. I was teaching, just volunteering in my son's classroom. And they asked me to stay on. And so I started as an art teacher, traveling from room to room. And in every room that I had about 18 classes a week. And in every one of them, there were 2 to 4 gifted children.
Wow.
And so I said, oh my goodness, I got to do something about this. So I would tell the parents, and they would say, oh, well, that is great. So what do I do now? Where do I send them? And I was like, I don't know. And so as I searched, there weren't any places, especially not with longevity. You may go to a 4-week or 8-week sessions, and then they're back home. Right. So I couldn't sleep until I started MTC Art Studios. So we start from 4 to infinity. We have virtual classes and in-person classes. And our tagline for MTC Art Studios is reaching the world through art. And this is just another way that we're now able to reach the world, because they can visit us online.
And live.
And live.
Awesome.
And live, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I know in prior conversation, we talked about community service for the artists, not just on the selling and commission side, but on the community service side. Can you tell us about this one venture that you all embarked upon here in our District of Columbia area?
Yes. So it was probably in our 2nd or 3rd year that we decided to add entrepreneurship. And so we would have fundraisers, and we would create work for them, projects for them to do and to sell. And so when they realized, well, someone's going to buy my work, then they started focusing on that, and we didn't think that was healthy. You know, how much is someone going to pay me for this new piece? So we decided to find someone in the community who we could serve. And because we want them to know that, although we want you to be confident to know that you obtain a career in this, make a good living, and enjoy what you do, also be ready to give, okay? Because your community gives to you, and that you can give back to the community. So our focus was giving back to the community. And so we partnered with Children's Hospital in Washington, D.C., and we came in to do a workshop. It was like a 4-hour workshop. We would bring all the supplies. We would bring the young people who we taught to be instructors one-on-one. And they did that. And these children who could never go home were the ones that they brought down into the atrium.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so changed at the end of the day.
Wow.
And I mean, a couple of the parents were in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, thank you to our young people. Thank you for working with my son. I didn't even know he was gifted. We found some gifted children in there. And then they asked for autographs from our students.
Wow.
You know, and our students, we prepared them and we taught them how to work with somebody one-on-one to do the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did a really good job, great presentations, and they saw the value in giving because their chest was out and their heads were up. And they were really proud to be that artist that made a difference in someone else's life.
Awesome.
So
Is some of their art hanging at the Children's Hospital now?
they're actually in the emergency rooms.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm.
They invited us to do a campaign
Mm-hmm.
with them, and this was, wow, probably maybe 7-8 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Where we would do tiles on the ceiling
Mm-hmm.
in the emergency rooms.
Yes.
And so those tiles would have messages. They would be, first of all, the theme was animals in tropical
Yes, I've seen them.
environments.
Yes.
Because it's very colorful,
Mhm.
very soothing, nature. And we would say, you know, stay calm, you know, we are with you, he is with you,
Mhm.
meaning God is with you. And those messages, they came back and told us that the children who came in there traumatized would calm down immediately, would lay down waiting for their doctors. Them and their parents or whoever brought them in, they would conversate. And the nurses would purposely get them to do that
Wow.
before they left and said, we'll be right back. Say, you know, take a look at our ceiling art and this, that, and the other. And it did wonders.
The power of art.
The power of art. And we called that project for us Art for Healing.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes,
That's
and so
awesome.
they're still there in their emergency room.
What types of art are they doing here?
Well, we teach them for as many mediums as we can. So they start off with learning how to perfect graphite pencil, color pencil, charcoal pencil. Then we go into soft pastels, oil pastels. Then we go into painting, watercolor painting, acrylic painting. And our high school students do oil painting, and our adults. And then we have sculpture, and then now we have digital art.
Nice.
So they go through that whole gamut, learning how to do realism, surrealism, abstract, and portraits, landscapes, you name it.
Awesome.
We specialize in building character and self-esteem in the children. We also focus on portfolio preparation. And we help to enter them in contests in other areas in the community that gets their art out there. And we prepare them for college scholarships.
Awesome.
And actually, not just college scholarships, but some of them desire to go to Duke Ellington for high school. Other high schools that are private high schools where they can get a partial scholarship. We prepare them for those auditions. And our students really do well. We very seldom have any who are just not up to par because we do prepare them. So presentation etiquette is another thing that we do. And so, you know, we work with that whole person. We work with character building, problem solving, and the like. So now we do narratives, and it forces our artists to think about, what is my motivation for this? What would I like to share with someone if I were with them while they're looking at my piece? I want them to see what I see and feel what I feel. And so we do that with each piece.
How can the community engage or become a part of MTC?
Well, we can be found at our website, www.mtcartstudios.org. Okay, and if you go there, you can peruse and see some of the artwork. We are getting ready to renovate and put more of our information up there because we also do paint parties and we do projects in the community. We're getting ready to do a mural this summer.
Awesome.
Right here in Bowie. And we have an art exhibit coming up at the Upper Marlboro Circuit Courthouse.
Awesome.
And so there's a reception for that on July 14th. And the public is now, when you go to the courthouse, they need to know the names of the people coming. So you would have to contact us, say, I want to attend. We put your name on a list, and then you're welcome to come in.
Awesome.
And in the community, in the community, and we do have some plans. We always have a project upcoming. So that's what I was going to say. When you go on the website, there's a form that you can fill out. Fill out that form, and I think you did it.
Yeah.
Then we will contact you and invite you to come and take a closer look.
Well, I tell you, Mavis, I know that MTC Art Studios is for kids and for those with a kid's heart. So we look forward to coming out and being a part of even what MTC is doing in the community. Promising Me Unleashed wants to be a part of that. So please, I hope that you will invite us.
Yes, we'll put you on our Friends of MTC list.
Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you so very much
so
for being our guest on Promising Me Unleashed.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome.